Well, hello there. I'm going to put on some of this Proraso pre-shave cream and I'll be right back. Well, hello there, and how are you? As you can see, I've prepped my face up here, and my razor today is going to be, I hope, this keen Kutter razor. The blade I couldn't get to work too well before. I don't know if it was the same blade as this one. It might have been a different one. This holds a proprietary blade, and a neighbor lady found this and another razor. This one, well, they both came in a case. This is the case for this keen Kutter razor. These were probably going to be thrown away, and she knew I liked things like this, so she gave them to me. Well, more about this in a little bit. My soap, which is a very soft soap and is almost a cream, is going to be this Panta Rei Donna Franca, or Donna Franca shaving soap right there. It's actually made for Panta Rei by Shan Feng Sing, but it's very nice, aromatic, kind of a cologne-y soap almost. And I've already lathered my brush, that is, which is the Semogue 1250 boar brush. I've lathered that in the Captain's Choice copper shaving bowl, and I'm going to try to get a lather started here. I hope you're all doing well this week. Excuse me, I set that aside, and I'll just go ahead and try to get lathered here. Oh, this is good stuff. Yes, sir. Lathers pretty easily. I'll put just a drop of water on this brush. That's good there. This isn't my best boar brush, but it's working well with this soap, I believe. Okay, I'll set this aside. Now, I'll wet the razor. One of these blades that came with this, and I'll show you what these came in. There's sort of a tiny little paper album. You can see the Keen Kutter logo on there, and there's several little sheets of paper. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but well, you unfold that, and in there is a thing with several little sheets of paper, each one between that and little accordion fold out or whatever it is. Yeah, there's blades in there. Some I think are better than others. Some are rustier than others. And I didn't have very good luck the first time I tried to use this, so I'm going to try to use this razor. I tested some hair on my knees, actually. Cut a little bit of hair off. I'm going to try to shave with this, and it's a different angle and just kind of a different experience altogether. Let's see. I think this thing is taking hair off. If not, I have another razor. Well, heck, I've got 100 other razors, but another one that I might use if this decides it doesn't want to take the hair off, like the first blade I used. I think this is working. Yeah, it seems to be taking some hair off this time. This blade looked cleaner than the others. Let me go ahead and rinse this. That doesn't take long to rinse at all. It's sort of got an open comb situation on it there, but the blade goes above that open comb. But we'll see. Very different here. Very nice soap and a very different razor. And I wanted to tell you some more about the history of the razor. Keen Kutter was a brand of the Morton Simmons hardware company that was headquartered in St. Louis, Missouri. And they made hardware, all kinds of sharp tools, including these razors. Well, they didn't actually make these razors. They sold these razors under the Keen Kutter brand. These were made by a company called Christie. So if you have a Christie razor, it may look exactly like this. But sold under the Keen Kutter brand. And if you can't find one of these proprietary blades, or just don't happen to have one, there is a way to rig up an injector blade so that it fits in here. But be very careful, because I tried that earlier and that's what I got for it. I got a cut. I had to bandage it. It was rather nasty at first. Let me go ahead and rinse this. I'll keep shaving here. Just over a day's worth of growth is all I've got here. I certainly hope this thing is taking, I think it's taking hair off. I'm going to rinse again. I guess there's still some on the back there I didn't get off, but there's plenty of the blades clean. Just like that. And yeah, now both sides of that open comb are clean down to my neck now. I think I may have a weeper or have reopened a weeper there, but I'm not going to worry too much about it. I hear audio feedback. You need to hold this razor almost flat to your face, or at no more than a 10 to 20 degree angle. That is, if you can get these blades to work. Well, yeah, I think it's taking hair off. It certainly seems better than the first time I used one of these blades. When this doesn't cut the hair away, I may be holding it too flat to my face. Because it seems like the blade, at least in my experience here, it seems like the blade needs to be held at somewhat of an angle to the face, even though the head of the razor seems to be angled to go flat against the face. If this doesn't work, I have another razor I'm going to use. But, well, it seems to be cutting hair off But now I will do a transition for certain. I will break away, but I'll come back to you freshly lathered for a second pass across the grain. This brush doesn't always hold lather that well, so I went back to the bowl here. Now there was a time a few weeks ago that I shaved with this brush using a different soap, and for some reason that time it seemed like it held lather most or all of the way through the shave without me having to go back to the bowl or tub. But I'll set that aside, wipe my finger off, and try to start going across the grain with this razor. And let's see, I'll try not to hold it too flat to the face. This blade will take hair off, but it does seem like I have to do short, choppy strokes, and it seems like it doesn't work as well necessarily if I do a nice slide across the face. So I might do a lot of buffing of a sort here. Somebody told me that buffing is actually going like that, back and forth with the blade against the face, although that doesn't seem very efficient. In fact, it was Jill of She Shaves that told me that, the late Jill, unfortunately. And we lost someone else in the wet shaving community recently, or just yesterday, I guess it was, Julio, and I want to say his last name was Giuliani. I might be butchering that. But he lived in Puerto Rico, a very nice fellow that I knew through the Facebook shaving groups, and a lot of us knew him, so may he rest in peace. Many of us had just spoken to him what seemed like only a day or two before, and he had only recently posted photos of his latest shave. Now I'm having to do a lot of short, choppy strokes and shaving over the same places, but that is, and I might be getting a little red as I tend to do sometimes. I might be overdoing it, but that is taking hair off my face. But again, it does seem that I have to use the short, choppy strokes. We'll do this side of the face. Something else I wanted to show you. The Keen Kutter company put somewhere around 1900, say, I don't know if that was the exact year, but very close to that year, they put a large warehouse in Wichita, Kansas, which for years many people called the Keen Kutter building because it had the Keen Kutter logo up on a cupola. I'll try to show you a picture of that building there. Up on the cupola, which housed a giant water tower, which I think fed a primitive sprinkler system or something. It was to be used in case of fire. Well, the Keen Kutter logo was up there on that little cupola, and then later on, I'll show you a more recent picture. That building became the hotel at Old Town, which is the old warehouse district, which has become an entertainment district, a residential district, and there's a couple of hotels there. There's also another hotel there now, a Marriott, which closely resembles a larger one in Omaha. Both of those buildings were made partially from old warehouses with a new front or atrium put on. That is shaving nicely right there. I'm gonna rinse again here. Some new things here today. There used to be just that one hotel in Wichita. A friend of mine stayed there for a buddy of his, one of his buddy's weddings years ago. He and some of his other friends went to that wedding down in Wichita. And they stayed at that hotel in what used to be what was colloquially called the Kutter building, but was really the Morton Simmons hardware company warehouse in Wichita. I forget what I was going to say. Something else about the Morton Simmons company. Oh yeah, they built that warehouse in Wichita to service what was then considered the Southwest. Wichita was once sort of, it wasn't called the gateway to the Southwest, but it was a gateway to the Southwest. Back when Arizona and New Mexico were still territories. I assume that's why some place as central as Wichita, Kansas would have been called the Southwest or a gateway to the Southwest. Nowadays, we definitely think of Kansas as a more central state. Let's see, some of this, I'm seeing little flakes of soap dancing around here. Some of this soap has dried a little bit. It's taking me longer to shave, but my face doesn't feel dry. My face still feels nice and moist. And it's funny, I don't know if it's just because these blades are so old and maybe even rusty in places, although the sharp edge doesn't seem as rusty as the flat parts of these proprietary blades. But, well, anyway, it seems like I have to use short, choppy strokes to take any hair off, and about a 10 to 20 degree angle of the razor. Not too flat to the face, and short, choppy strokes. I don't know if you can see the flakes of soap that were flying around here, which is something that happens when your soap starts drying on your skin. But like I said, probably because this is a pretty good high-end soap, fairly high-end anyway, it does, even as it may dry, it's not making my face feel dry. The only thing that might not feel the best on my face is having to take these short, choppy strokes with this blade. The blade feels dull. I guess you could say tuggy, probably, because you have to do these short, choppy strokes that I keep mentioning. Okay, well, I am getting somewhere, I think, and I will come back for a third pass against the grain. I often get my lathers either too dry or too wet, but it's not hard to get a lot of lather with this soap. I'll start on the neck and start going against the grain. Time is kind of getting away from me here. Because the shaving process is taking longer. Having to take these shorter strokes, and so many of them. I can try doing some longer strokes here, but that wasn't working so well before, as far as taking off the hair. I don't know that this is going to be the closest shave in the world either. So I may cut some of this shave out, bits and pieces of it, for editing and time purposes on this video. We'll see. I've been being kind of quiet because if I take something out of the video, or if I use the speed up editing feature, I don't want to cut out things I say. Now I'm going to come back in a minute for some pickups. Okay, here's the magic clock. It's pickup time, and I'm going to go fast here. Okay, that's a fairly smooth shave, and that's all I'm going to do right now. I'm going to rinse the razor, the bowl, the brush, and my face. I'll come back, I'll dry my face with Mr. Towel there, and then I'll do the rest of the shave here. Say hello to our good friend, Mr. Towel. Ah. Oh, yeah. Ah, yeah. Okay, I think I took care of those weepers. I think I did anyway. I think the cold water took care of those. And, yeah, I'll put Mr. Towel back where he goes here in a second. And I'll reach for something over here. Then I'll finish up and I'll begin some recaps if I have time. I'm going to use the Zirh Erase Aftershave Relief Tonic. Put a little bit of that in my hand. And, excuse me, I'm over here in case you're looking for me. Really good stuff, but it has a bit of a medicinal smell. I think that is indicative of the fact that it does its job. Good for the skin. I'll put the cap back on that. That's the Zirh Aftershave Relief Tonic. And I've just got one more thing I'm going to apply to my face, and it's going to be some Pitralon, the green classic aftershave. If I can get the lid off of it. Here it comes. My hand's a little bit slick there. Okay. And just a little bit of that in the hand there. Set that aside. Get that going in the hands, a little on the wrists, behind the ears, temples, a little on the back of the neck. Oh, that smells nice. Doesn't go exactly with that soap, but it doesn't clash with it, and both products smell just divinely. Now, real quick, I'm going to recap and get out of here. Okay, beforehand, off camera, I prep my face with the Proraso menthol and eucalyptus pre-shave cream. My razor with the proprietary blade is this keen Kutter razor, same as an old Christie razor, made by the Christie company. The Semogue 1250 boar brush. Panta Rei Donna Franca shaving soap, very nice, very fragrant, I mean, made in Italy, and it's actually made by Sean Fung Sing for Panta Rei. My bowl was the Captain's Choice copper shaving bowl, and let's see, Am I forgetting anything? Well, and then just what I used afterwards, I believe. The Zirh Magic, or well, the Aftershave Relief Tonic. It is magic to me. And the Pitralon Classic Aftershave. That's it. Gotta go. Take care and peace.